Hi, Yukimi.
Hi.
Welcome to Germany. So I got you a little present, and I actually went for one of my favorite singers of all time, and that's Grace Jones. I love her, and she did a fantastic book called Jungle Fever with Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Yeah.
So this is for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm actually a real big fan as well.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So we have a lot in common.
Yeah, I love Grace Jones. The pictures look amazing.
Fantastic. So have you been to Berlin before?
A couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a show here.
It's constantly evolving. It's one of those cities which is just so interesting because there's so much happening. I think that's super cool. But I also have a home in New York. So New York is actually my favorite city in the world.
I actually lived in New York for like a year and a half.
Yeah?
So yeah, it was definitely an inspiring time for me.
I don't know what it is about that city, but it's the most international city that I've ever been to in my entire life. And no matter what you are, what you want to be, what you want to do, it's just fine in New York. And this is really cool.
I think that's why I came back to Sweden and sort of to my city, like one of the most boring cities in the world.
Okay, you got to tell me now a little bit about Gothenburg because I've never ever been.
Yeah, it's Sweden's second largest city.
Okay.
And but it's still very small. It's quite quiet. So when I'm home, I'm like, I want to be in the studio. I want to be creative.
Sure.
And I think that when I was in New York, that's what I was saying before, I just found myself kind of seeing everyone else be creative, not having time to do.
But maybe that was what really inspired you as well, because you was like,
Yes.
I want to have a part of this.
Right.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So would you say was one of your biggest influences? And it doesn't have to be like in music, but just generally.
I guess like everyone, you have your different periods, sort of
Absolutely.
where you go through
Yeah.
different stages and stuff. But I definitely have always been a big fan of Prince.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I remember listening to him sort of when I was like 13, 14, and just like, I don't know, I'd get lost in his songs. I'd play the same one over and over and over like 20 times in my room, crank it up.
Yeah.
So I have a little gift for you.
Thank you. I love presents.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So that is a little 7-inch of our new single.
Fantastic. It's great.
And that's something you can go to the gym in.
Oh, but this is pretty cool. Yeah, but I love like these kind of like cool graphic tees because I just think.
So that's a picture
This is
that my
great.
dad did.
This is one of your father's?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Does it mean anything or is it just a cool image? Oh God, it's amazing. It's actually got like little people in here.
Yeah, actually it's really huge.
Wow.
And he made it for my older sister, Sandra. So there's a lot more to the picture, but it's just
Right, this is just
sort
like
of
a
piece of it.
proportion.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I love it.
welcome.
I will wear it with pride and I will send you a picture.
Nice.
So do you ever get like, you're getting really, really well known and actually quite famous, which I think is wonderful. Do you ever get concerned that it's kind of affects you or maybe, you have to then go commercial because there's such pressure on you and, how do you deal with that? How do you say, this is my creativity, this is where I started and this is what I want to retain?
I guess, firstly, I definitely don't feel that. I don't feel like I've, sort of...
But that's great because I think not every artist has that luxury.
Yeah, so I think like everything that we've sort of achieved, we've done ourselves, and I mean, it's sort of been with help of people who've believed in our music, who've,
Right.
supported us, and And, you know, we've never had sort of that push from the label where, you know,
Great.
partly because we had no other choice. I mean, it was a good thing, but, you know, you just don't have the budget to get that person,
Sure.
so you got to think of a way.
But do you not think, I always say that creative people who don't have the money to start with are more creative, because it forces you to think outside the box. You have no choice.
Right.
And when you think outside the box, you come up with something which is, you know, is a new take. It's a
Right.
new approach.
Definitely.
Whereas if it's all laid on for you, you just take it because it's already processed. So I think that's been an advantage for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that even like with my singing, like I
Right.
have people who will be like, "Oh, your style is so special. Like, what made you sing like that?" And it's kind of like, well, I always wanted to be able to sing like this person, but I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah.
So the
this is my
disadvantage,
style.
yeah, the disadvantage or the fact that I couldn't made me
Becomes
sing
an
like
advantage.
this instead.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So do you feel like you have those limitations?
Yeah, I do. I do, because I think it's a huge business. It's one of the biggest fashion houses in the world. And I don't necessarily have lots and lots of freedom to do things always my way. But
Right.
what I do have is a voice and a say which is listened to, and where I do have the chance to really express creativity, which is really right for the brand, is when we do a show.
And then I guess when you have those moments where you have to work in a certain frame,
Yeah.
that maybe it brings out something unexpected out of you as well.
Every
I
single
guess.
time, because, you know, limitations also makes you think in a more creative way.
Right.
And the interesting thing with fashion is, because it does change so radically, you're always doing something new anyway, so it never ever gets boring. And that's what keeps it fresh for me. That's why I love it so much. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Cool.